This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
When I'm doing my December monthly market update, this is actually November data, and it's actually single-family homes. So that's predominantly where I work, so that's what I do month over month just to compare. Okay, so this month currently we have 5,822 available, which is down a little bit from last month, because it's the first time we've seen it go down in probably about 5 or 6 months, I'm going to say. Numbers in escrow is 2,030. That's just roughly the same, a little bit less than last month. 1,689 sold in the last 30 days. That's down about 100 from last month. We have currently, our absorption rate is roughly 3.45, so it'll take 3.5 months to sell the existing inventory right now. And our average days on market is 38, and our median sales price is 480. Now that's up 10,000 from last month on the median price. When we get into some of these other charts, you're going to see that the high end of our market is kind of zooming right now. And I think that's affecting the median. Even though it shouldn't, it does. It affects the median price. When we look at it versus last year at this time, our median price was 448. We had fewer homes on the market. We had fewer in escrow, and we had a lot less sold too. So last year the activity was much, much lower, but so was the price. As we move on to the next chart, this is the stack chart. This shows the amount of volume, the number of homes sold each month, going back to the year 2000. And you can see we're just starting, we're going to creep just slightly ahead of last year, which was one of the worst volume years we've had in a long time, going all the way back to 2007. And this year we're going to surpass it just by a little bit. Looks like we're going to end up at the year slightly ahead of last year. And when I move on to the next one, this shows our average months of inventory. They've got it calculated about 4.2. That's the absorption rate we were talking about before. And what I'm seeing is it jumped and spiked back in 22. It fell way down in earlier this year, and now it's right kind of like it's kind of towards the high end now, where it's been over the last several years. But it's starting to lean a little more towards buyers, just a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of that. This tends to lean towards buyers. Again, supply and demand, guys. The median price, I really like this chart for the flat line effect it presents. It's not a huge movement since November of 22. We were at a little over 430. We're currently at 480. A year ago, we were at 448, 450. So it's not moving a lot. When you see the average, that jumps up and down a little bit more, but the median stays fairly consistent. It's been creeping up. About 10% over the last 2 years is what you're seeing. About 50,000 over the last 2 years, roughly 10%. Now we're talking about luxury. Now luxury it's a subjective term. This is $1 million or more. So when we talk about $1 million or more home, now some people might not want to consider that luxury because quite honestly, there's a lot of tract homes selling for $1 million or more. But nonetheless, this is the volume of luxury, and this is what I was talking about before when I was saying skewing that median. Look at the amount of volume we're seeing. We're going to probably have our best year ever, over $1 million, which back in 2021 was the best year. Last 2 years, slight declines, and looks like we're going to end up surpassing even our very best year in $1 million. But then this last chart is $3 million and over. Now this is what I would say this is luxury now. Saying $1 million is kind of a nice, easy number to say. It's that first 7-digit figure. It's easy to say, say $1 million or more. But $3 million is probably more likely when you want to talk about luxury here in our valley. But we're going to have a tremendous year for that. I mean, it's just a monster year for that. When you go back to 2014, they were all single digits.
Yeah, and I think what both these charts show is just the maturing of the city.
Indeed, exactly right.
We've got new industries, we got professional sports, we've got migration of studios from California. I mean, we got, we're growing in a segment that hasn't existed here, and shows just how attractive the city is for a lot of different reasons.
I remember, this is going to date me a bit, but the biggest sale it was in the paper. The biggest sale of a home in Las Vegas was like 7.9 million. Not too long ago, guys. So now you're seeing a lot here, over 3 million. And then I've got one more chart I want to show you. This is the one I make. This is the line graph I make every single month, and this talks about the number of homes sold, the number of available homes, and the median price. So the number of homes sold is this orange line at the bottom, and you can see that it's slipping down a little bit. We're seeing our volume slip. That's almost a seasonality element to it. There is a little bit of seasonality to real estate here in Southern Nevada. The yellow line shows what's available, and you saw it was creeping up ever since basically since April. Every single month it went up until this month is the first month we're seeing it slip just slightly. And then the median price is right there. I mean, it's not last year, 445 and change. Now it's 480. Roughly I think we've got a 7% move on that. So that's a nice appreciation rate. I kind of like 7%.
Yeah, I had a lot of people just ask from all these, just the headlines of the market volatility of the last decade. If you look at it, and they're like, "Well, how's the market?" And I say, "Stable, normal, boring." That's what real estate is.
That's what we like it.
Should be.
That's what we like it to be.
People are so shell shocked by the volatility in Vegas that there's these major expectations of swings, and really this is how it normally, slowly evolves.
Yeah, I mean, we had our roller coaster ride back in the mid 2000s. We had that come up, but since then we've actually been very stable. When you look at the recovery rate of other markets, was a lot quicker than it took us a long time to recover from the housing crisis because we were ground zero of the housing crisis.
Yeah.
When I go back to those days, I remember saying to people, we were the fastest growing city in the nation at the worst possible time. Yeah. That's what happened, and that's why we got creamed, during that. But now, I mean, we are a model of stability now. I mean, just really strong.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've noticed is when the market is moving quickly and in a volatile way, quick up, quick down, there is a trend that carries most of the inventory. I mean, when it was moving up fast, most things you say, oh, the market's moving up fast, so your house must be worth more, it must be doing better. Same thing on the way down when it's moving fast. Where we are right now is there's hyper local breaking from the trends. I mean, Harvey just did a beautiful job on here's the market trends, but I've had people say, well, I know the market's kind of stable, 3 months worth of supply, it's going to take a couple months to sell my home. Well, just talked to a seller today and did an analysis for them in their neighborhood.
Right.
And there's 7 months worth of supply
Wow.
in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
2 times the market average. Talk to someone else. I mean, so market average in the 3 months worth of supply, but in one particular neighborhood, double that.
Yeah.
Which requires a different pricing strategy, marketing strategy, approach, conversation.
Yep.
Same thing. We saw the prices on the median, on the average, indicating, okay, prices are up 7%, closing volume up, 4%, units and numbers. In general, if you're looking at year over year.
Yep.
However, again, micro market, one neighborhood, talked to a seller earlier this week who was kind of expecting in the 325 range. That's where they had sold in that neighborhood specifically earlier this year.
Okay.
And, there's 3 unsold homes in the neighborhood right now listed at 295.
Wow. Okay.
That is not a 7% price growth.
No. That's a red number. That's a red number. Yeah.
And so the point is not to create any fear.
No.
The point is so many people hold themselves back from doing what they want because they're making assumptions that the market trends apply to them, and it's just not true.
That's right.
Right now.
Yeah.
And this is where the difference in neighborhoods matter.